Hey there, I'm Jen, and today we're taking a closer look at the Icon Tuscadero women's riding boots. Now, when we look at Icon's footwear collection these days, it's a little bit thin, and so for the female rider out there, this is the only Icon footwear item you're going to find in that catalog. So I'm definitely looking forward to see what they come up with next. But as we look at the Tuscadero here on the table, I want to point out this is a little bit more of a V-twin flavor of a boot. You know, it's going to give you that full height, has that very typical ankle strap system, and I think it has just a couple little fashionista flares. So if you want something a little bit different from the very traditional boot, this might be something you're going to look at. I also want to point out, I think a big selling feature of this boot is, of course, the price. The price is in at $115, so it's going to work in a lot of different budgets. It's going to ship to you for free, and as always, our price match policy is in place to guarantee you the lowest price available. All right, so let's talk sizing. Now, the Tuscadero comes in half sizes. That's pretty unique in the riding sphere. I notice a lot of riding boots don't give you a half size, which is kind of annoying. So if you're one of those riders and you definitely fall in that category of half size, good news for you, you have a size to pick from. And in general, the Tuscadero is a true to size fit, so order the size you would normally wear. All right, so let's dive into a 360 overview of all the different features of the Tuscadero. We're going to start out in this front view here. I want to point out that this boot is what we consider a full height boot. So it comes up to 10 inches here, giving you some coverage over the ankles. Now coming into the front view of the boot, there in the toe box area, it has some reinforcement in the very tippity toe and just a little bit more flex here into the meatier part of the toe box area. This boot does have a center seam running down the front of it, not something we normally see in riding boots, so I just want to make that aware in case you didn't see that in the photos. These boots also utilize a shifter pad, and it's called symmetrical, and that's because it's on both sides of the pair of the boots. So on each boot, you're going to have that extra layer system. And what this extra layer does is it just gives you a little bit more extra comfort when you're clicking through the gears, and also it helps with the general longevity of the boot. So moving on to the outside or lateral view of the boot, it's time to talk about main construction materials. Icon is using a genuine cowhide leather throughout this entire boot. Notice that's a very coarse grain in the upper portions, but then here in the ankle strap, it's a little bit of a tighter knit, closer grain leather, something you might not see in the photo, so I just want you to take a peek at that. When we're talking about the ankles, there is a D3O ankle puck system in there. Gives you a little bit of support around the ankles. We're going to take a closer view of that on the inside of the boot in just a moment. But when it comes to this ankle strap, I do want to point out it is adjustable. So if you want to go ahead and fine tune that fit to your ankle, you do have a little bit of adjustability there. Now, looking at the sole, it is a thermo-molded rubber sole, and Icon has a pretty good lift here in the heel. So if you're a shorter rider and you're trying to bridge that gap with your inseam and how tall your bike is, you're getting a 2-inch lift out of that heel, so something for your consideration. I personally like the look of this sculpted heel. It's not quite a heel, not quite a wedge, it's somewhere in between. That's my personal take. You might have different opinions on the fashion of the boot. I like it. And then when it comes to the sole and its rigidity, it has like a 5 out of 10 on our flex scale, so a little bit stiff. I do want to point out though that this boot meets some CE2 ratings, and part of that rating, kind of the crush test when you push onto the sole here. So it's got that rigidity to meet that safety rating. And while we're looking at the bottom of the boot, I want to point out that Icon is using this wave grip pattern. So this is kind of nice because I feel like a lot of V-twin boots don't give you enough grip on the bottom. With this wave grip here, you're going to have pretty good friction and some very slippery conditions. So moving on to the rear view of the boot, there is a reinforced heel cup here. You see with that little pinch and give. I personally love to see a little hit of visibility or reflectiveness on the back of a boot. Icon has foregone that on the Tuscadero. Just pointing that out. And then on the medial or inside view of the boot, this is your main entryway into the Tuscadero. You're going to see a Velcro up top, and then just a very typical zipper down here. And in this view, I could give you a little peek at what that D3O pad looks like. So now you have an understanding of what that ankle padding looks like on the inside of the boot. And that is going to do it. That is your 360 overview of the Icon Tuscadero women's riding boot. Again, this has some of that, I would say, elevated V-twin styling to it. And of course, it's super affordable, $115. It's going to be working well with a lot of people's budgets out there. But if you have more questions, go ahead and hit the info button on your desktop or mobile device. It's going to redirect you to the product page where you're going to see some more product features and read some reviews from riders like yourself. And if you have even more questions, give our customer service a call. They're going to be happy to help you find a pair of riding boots that best suits your needs. All right, well, thanks for hanging out as we take a closer look at the Icon Tuscadero women's riding boots. I'm Jen, keep it on too.